Look, today we're not just talking about how to spot a fake review here and there. No, we're going way deeper. We're about to conduct a full-blown forensic investigation into the entire automated system of online review fraud. And trust me, it's a system designed to manipulate you from the moment you land on the page.
So let's just start with a really foundational and honestly kinda unsettling truth. You know that wisdom of the crowd we all lean on to make smart choices when we're shopping? Well, what if I told you that most of the time it's not a crowd at all? It's just a script. It's a ghost in the machine, and its only job is to get you to click buy now.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're gonna start by naming the beast, the core deception. Then we'll look at why our own brains are so vulnerable to this stuff. After that, we'll tear apart the scammer's playbook piece by piece. And finally, we'll build you a personal defense kit so you can see this manipulation coming a mile away. All right, first things first, you can't really fight an enemy until you can name it, right? So we need to get a really clear picture of the fundamental mechanism that we are all up against. So what we're talking about here isn't just a handful of shady sellers writing a few fake reviews. No, this is a whole system. It's called algorithmic reputation inflation. And what that means is it uses AI to literally manufacture trust out of thin air. It takes our very human instinct to trust each other and turns it into a weapon to get into our wallets. And the whole thing, the entire success of this system, it all hinges on one thing: making a digital illusion feel completely, totally real. The goal is to make a consensus that was programmed by a machine feel like it came from a warm, friendly community of actual people. Okay, so now let's dig into the psychological side of this. Where does this fraud really take root? I mean, why are we, all of us, smart, savvy consumers, so vulnerable to it? Oh, you definitely know this feeling. You're just trying to buy a simple phone charger, right? And suddenly you're drowning in thousands of options. You're scrolling, comparing tiny little details. It's just exhausting. That's called choice overload, and it leads to very real decision fatigue. And when your brain gets overwhelmed like that, it starts desperately looking for a shortcut.
And what's that shortcut? Well, it's an instinct that's hardwired deep inside our brains. It's called social proof. I mean, think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. For thousands of years, following the herd meant survival. If the rest of the tribe was eating a certain berry, it was probably safe. If everyone started running, you'd better run too. Scammers know this. They are exploiting this fundamental biological drive for safety in numbers. They know we're all just looking for what's popular.
And this right here, this shows the huge gap between what we think is happening and what's actually happening. On the left, you've got the ideal, right? The wisdom of the crowd, where real feedback from real people shines through. But on the right, that's the reality for so many products. Algorithmic reputation inflation. It's where the noise is specifically engineered to sound like the signal. It's how they manufacture trust literally overnight, instead of earning it over years. So this is exactly how they poison the well of social proof. They take that decision fatigue we talked about, and they use it against you. They know you're just gonna glance at the star rating. That's the shortcut. So what do? They flood the listing with so much fake bot-written praise that any real warnings from actual customers get completely buried. It's a total distortion of the signal, making it almost impossible to find the truth. Okay, now it's time to pull back the curtain. We're going to break down the entire 6-stage machine that automates this whole process of deception. Think of this as the criminal's industrial strength playbook, from start to finish. So this is the full forensic anatomy of the scam. It starts with targeting a product. Then comes a massive explosion of fake credibility. Then they manipulate your emotions. After that, they hijack the search results, take your money, and poof, they vanish without a trace. So the whole process starts very quietly, almost like a hunt. The scammers do what's called commodity scanning. They're looking for product categories where we, the consumers, are the most vulnerable. We're talking about things like electronics or supplements or baby products. Anything where quality and safety are a huge deal and where we have to rely almost entirely on reviews to know what's good. And then comes step 2, the cluster surge. This is where a brand new, totally unproven product gets listed and then, bam, in a super short amount of time, thousands of bot-written 5-star reviews just appear out of nowhere. Now here's the key. At this stage, the goal isn't to fool you, not yet. It's to fool the marketplace's own algorithm. And right here, this is the crucial moment. Once that product hits a critical mass, let's say 1,000 fake reviews, the marketplace algorithm is completely duped. It sees this sudden spike, this incredible review velocity, and it thinks, wow, this product is insanely popular. So it flags it as a hot item, maybe even a bestseller, and it starts pushing it right to the top of your search results. Okay, so here's where the manipulation flips. The target is no longer the algorithm, it's you. The bots don't just post generic stuff like great product. Oh no, they're much smarter than that. They use something called the emotional anecdote ruse. The AI generates fake, personal-sounding stories filled with humanizing triggers. You know, things like, as a teacher, I rely on this, or this charger literally saved our family vacation. It's all designed to bypass your logical brain and create a fake emotional connection.
And this is the psychological choke point. See, you're not just buying a $20 charger anymore. You're buying the charger that saved a family's vacation. You're buying the one that a teacher trusts in her classroom. These fake stories are designed to make you feel safe, to make you feel trust. They completely short-circuit your critical thinking.
And the end game, steps 4, 5, and 6, they happen fast. The search hijack is complete. The product owns that #1 spot. Then comes extraction. They're just collecting cash from everyone who falls for it. And finally, as soon as real negative reviews start to trickle in, they execute the listing churn. The product page is deleted, and the whole scam starts all over again under a brand new name. But believe it or not, the deception doesn't even stop there. Beyond that basic 6-step machine we just walked through, the really sophisticated scammers use even more advanced tactics to build up and protect their fortress of lies. I mean, they're using things like sentiment clustering, which is where each bot review targets a different feature, so it looks like everyone loves everything about the product. They even do competitor sabotage, buying bot attacks to flood their rivals with fake 1-star reviews. But maybe the craziest one is review hijacking. This is where they take their new, garbage product and merge it with an old, completely unrelated product listing that had a high rating, instantly stealing all those good stars. And get this, it's not just about the text anymore. We are now seeing a massive wave of visual deception. Scammers are using generative AI to create 100% fake photos, fake unboxing pictures, fake lifestyle shots of happy people using the product. So yeah, even that photographic proof you think you're looking at, it can be totally fabricated by an algorithm.
Okay, so we've seen the nuts and bolts of the scam. Now let's dive into the psychology. Why do our brains fall for these digital tricks so easily?
Well, the main reason comes down to something called cognitive ease. Look, your brain is fundamentally lazy. It's wired to conserve energy. It will always prefer the path of least resistance. And sitting there analyzing 10 different products, that's hard work. But seeing a 4.9-star rating with thousands of reviews and just trusting it, that's easy. That high rating is a simple, comforting answer that lets our brain off the hook. This whole setup is designed to trigger what psychologists call System 1 thinking. That's our fast, intuitive, gut reaction brain. The entire scam is engineered to keep you right there in System 1. They want you to see that shiny bestseller badge, feel that wave of social proof, and make a quick, emotional decision. The last thing they want is for your slow, deliberate, analytical System 2 brain to wake up and start asking questions. And this leads us to the ultimate weapon they use, the bandwagon effect. That deep-seated belief that, hey, 10,000 people can't all be wrong. That belief, that is the system's choke point. It makes us completely ignore the glaring fact that those 10,000 people don't actually exist. Okay, you now know how the system works. So let's talk about how to fight back. This is your guide, your personal toolkit for becoming a forensic-minded consumer who can see the truth hiding behind a code. So the big question is, how do you make that switch? How do you go from being a passive target to an active detective? The answer is actually pretty simple. You have to stop looking at the overall star rating as a fact. It's not. Instead, you need to start conducting what I call a distribution audit. And here it is. This is your protocol. It's 5 simple, but trust me, incredibly powerful steps that will help you break the illusion and see what's really going on with any product listing. This is about to become your new shopping habit. Step 1, red flag detection. And here's the cool part, you're already trained to spot the cluster surge. From now on, you're going to look at the timing of the reviews. If some brand new product suddenly gets 1,000 5-star reviews in its first week, and then crickets, that is a gigantic red flag. Remember, real popularity grows over time. Fake popularity is a sudden explosion. All right, steps 2 and 3 are the heart of your audit. First is the 3-star reality check. This is so important. You are going to completely ignore the 5-star raves and the 1-star rants. The real, human feedback, the good stuff, is almost always hiding in the middle. The 2, 3, and 4-star reviews. That's where you find the truth. And while you're there, you're also doing a linguistic audit. Look for those generic, repetitive phrases. We call them empty descriptors. If you see 10 different people using the exact same phrase, yeah, that's a bot. Okay, step 4 is to question everything. And I mean everything. Even the so-called trust badges. You know that little verified purchase label? It used to be the gold standard, right? Well, unfortunately, it's now completely compromised. Scammers run these huge groups on social media where they'll literally pay you back for a product if you leave a 5-star verified review. So from now on, you've got to treat that badge with some serious skepticism. And finally, we have what might be the single most powerful step, the safe exit strategy. It's simple. Always implement the external verification rule. Before you click buy, just open a new tab. Search for reviews of that product on trusted independent sites. Think CNET or Consumer Reports or Wirecutter. You have to get a second opinion from outside the echo chamber that's trying to sell you something. So, if there is one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. A star rating is not a community vote. It's just a variable in an algorithm, and it's a variable that is incredibly easy to manipulate. Just remember this simple rule of thumb. If a product's reputation was built in a week, the product itself probably won't last you much longer than that. So I want to leave you with a new mantra, a kind of protective shield for when you're shopping online. Just make this your internal voice. I read the middle, I ignore the top. Stars are just code, only the details are real. If you can adopt that mindset, I promise you, you will never be fooled by the ghost in the machine again.